Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us wherever you're watching us from. We're coming to you live from the grounds of the Capitol this morning, precisely here at the House of Representatives, ahead of the session for today. Several issues to be brought on the floor today, today, but session is yet to kickstart officially. A lot of the lawmakers are already here. As you can see, their vehicles are all parked, and some of them are still arriving. Several lawmakers are still arriving already. So any moment from now, we'll be going up in the chambers where the session will be held. But as you can see, the vehicles of the lawmakers all parked here. Most of the lawmakers are already here, and a few of them are still arriving. But that of the speaker is already, the speaker himself is already here. As you can see, the vehicle parked right ahead of us there. You all know this particular space, so that's the vehicle of the Speaker, Honorable Speaker Richard Namwekun, and several other lawmakers accompany the Speaker here. As you can see, their vehicles are all parked here at the grounds of the Capitol. So there are several issues that are expected to be discussed today here at the House of Representatives, and once the session starts, it's expected to start at around 11 this morning. It's already 6 past 11. We've been told by 11:30 the session will be started, where the session will be held this morning. So wherever you're watching us from, we'd like to say thanks for watching. Still can stay with us. This is LNTV, and we're coming to you live from the grounds of the Capitol. Wherever you're watching us from, kindly leave your comments, and several issues to be discussed. All right, we're sorry for the breaking. Sorry for the breaking this morning. That's because of the internet, and but we're back on. So thanks for watching wherever you're following from. Right ahead of us here is the Honorable Minister of Grace Bay, and he's just briefly stopped here at the Capitol building. And so, folks, any moment from now, we'll make our way up there where the session is being held. The lawmakers are already gathering, and any moment from now, they will be in session discussing several issues. There are several issues that have been will be discussed, but today, precisely, the National Public Health Institute, and along with several medical institutions, will all be invited here at the grounds of the Capitol, precisely at the House of Representatives, to discuss the issue of the outbreak of monkeypox in the country. You all know the most trending information currently is the monkeypox outbreak, and so the lawmakers are expected today to invite before the body health authorities to discuss the issue of the monkeypox outbreak in Liberia. So that's one key issue that will be discussed today here at the grounds of the Capitol. As you all know, the health authorities have already started putting in the relevant caution mechanisms to ensure that Liberians can adhere to all of the mechanisms put in place as it relates to the trending monkeypox outbreak in the country. So health authorities are expected to be here today to address this issue. The lawmakers are concerned. They will be having several questions that will be posed to the health authorities as it relates to the monkeypox outbreak in the country. So wherever you're watching from, we like to say keep watching us, and once we go upstairs in the chambers where the lawmakers will be discussing, you can follow through. I mean, the House of Representatives have invited the NFIL, like I said, the National Public Health Institute, and they will be appearing before full plenary today to bring update on the reported outbreak of monkeypox virus in the country, like I said. So actually the decision of the House is to reach the leadership. In fact, the leadership of the House committee met this decision on Monday, which was yesterday. You know, every Monday the House leadership holds their regular meetings here at the grounds of the Capitol. So And so they met here yesterday because they always meet on Monday as it relates to the House's leadership. They always hold their meetings on Mondays. So yesterday they reached a decision to invite NFIL, the National Public Health Institute, as it relates to the reported monkeypox virus that's currently trending. According to them, according to the lawmakers, they're concerned about the health and safety of the Liberian people. And so it's actually their national duty as leaders to ensure that all health institutions are not only prepared, but to actively take measures to prevent the further spread of monkeypox. So one of the members of the House of Representatives strongly made that stance yesterday in their House's leadership meeting. And so the appearance of NFIL, especially the Director General himself, Dr. Dr. Dubayan will be appearing today. He will appear before plenary. He is expected to provide to the lawmakers an opportunity to assess resource needs and also interagency coordination, like working together and working together to provide public awareness and strategies to roll out in the response process of this outbreak, this monkeypox outbreak. So wherever you're watching us from, stick and stay with us. Among several issues that we are expecting from the grounds of the Capitol today, that's one of the most key issues that will be spoken about amongst several issues. So just over the week, last Tuesday, Maryland County, that was last week, or I think Thursday precisely, if my memory can set me right, correct me if I'm wrong, the Maryland County lawmaker Anthony Williams was also putting forth before his colleagues the alarming situation, according to him, currently in southeastern Liberia as it relates to Burkinabes occupying territories or locations in that part of the country, in Grangida, in Maryland County, and other counties that are neighboring to the Ivory Coast. And this issue has been on the plate before plenary for discussion, and lawmaker Anthony Williams of Maryland County is leading this particular discussion. We're hoping he might bring about it today again on the floor, amongst other issues that might be discussed. So folks, wherever you're watching us from, we'd like you to leave your comments. Like I said, several issues will be discussed today, so we'll rejoin you. That's famous Rufus Nouvel. You all know him. He's here on the grounds of the Capitol also. But folks, wherever you're watching us from, we'll now make our way up in the joint chambers, or in the chamber, sorry, where the lawmakers will start their session any moment from now.
Locally, we inform the members present. We have the requisite number to do the regular business. Reading, correction, amendment, and adoption of the agenda.
The third day sitting of the second quarter of the second section of the Honorable House of Representatives of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia. Tuesday, May 20, 2025 agenda. 1 session called to order. 2 prayer. 3 roll call. 4 reading, correction or amendment and adoption of the agenda. 5 call for petition. 6 call for standing committees report. 7 call for special committees reports. Other than we have report from the reports from the committees of judiciary and agriculture on the enactment of the National Food Assistance Agency Act of 2025. 8 call for motion, bills and resolutions. Other than we have communication from Honorable Margaret M. Thomas, Representative Electoral District Number 4, Maserati County, submitting for enactment a bill establishing the township of Soul Clinic. B. Communication from Honorable Alexander Paul, Representative Electoral District Number 1, River G County, submitting for enactment a bill titled quote-unquote an act to establish the River G Community College and grant it a chapter. Now business on speaker's desk. Honor that we have communication from the Liberian Senate submitting for the House's concurrence on separate some establishment of townships in Brown Cape County. B. Communication from Honorable Jason W. Sibo, Representative Electoral District number 16, Montserrat County, requesting a shift in the revenue from natural resources strategy. C. Communication from Honorable BCK College, Representative Electoral District number 4, Local County, respectfully urging the plenary of the House to initiate an investigation into Honorable Yeka Wakola's recent acts of vandalism and his outright disrespect to the House. D. Communication from Honorable P. Marjorie, Representative Electoral District number 1, County, craving an indulgence of plenary to sign Mr. James D. Dennis, Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority, to give reasons why Lupon Airfare is exorbitant or exceeding the customary.
The noise, please.
Or exceeding the customary appropriated airfare of international flights to neighboring countries. E. Communication from Honorable Donald P. Pikia, Representative Electoral District number 6, Nima County, craving the indulgence of the House to invite the Interministerial Committee to provide update on the handling of the 243-kilometer rail road from Yegepa to Buchanan. F. Communication from Honorable Yeka Wakoluwa, Representative Electoral District number 10, Montserrat County, requesting an excuse for legislative duty to enable him to seek medical treatment abroad. G. Communication from Honorable Tansel Mwangwe, Representative Electoral District number 9, Nima County, requesting an excuse to attend ECOWAS and district engagements. H. Communication from Honorable Jerry K. Yoba, Representative Electoral District number 12, Montserrat County, informing the House about his absence from section to seek medical attention. I. Communication from Honorable Samuel Ara Enders, Representative Electoral District number 6, Montserrat County, informing the House that he will be away from the 18th of May to the 2nd of July on the duty at the ECOWAS Parliament. J. Communications from Honorable Priscilla A. Cooper, Representative Electoral District number 5, Montserrat County, once submitting notification for his discharge petition to discharge from committee room, Tuesday, Equatorial Zone 2024 and National Rehabilitation Commission 2024, and requesting the House to invite the leadership of the LNP, that is the Liberia National Police, and the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency to provide a recruitment and manpower development plan. K. Communication from Honorable Asa B. Ward, Representative Electoral District number 2, River G County, requesting plenary to invite the Liberia Electricity Corporation's management to appear before plenary. L. Communication from Honorable Imaya Dam, Representative Electoral District number 7, Montserrat County, requesting plenary to invite Honorable James Dobajala, Commissioner General of LRA, and Honorable Augustine K. Dafwa, Minister of Finance, to provide a comprehensive update on Liberia's tax expenditures. M. Communication from the Minister of Public Works, Honorable Roland L. Giddens, requesting for technical coordination and supervision of legislative infrastructure projects. And communication from the National Commission on Disabilities, requesting for audience with plenary to advocate for additional allotments in the 2025 recast budget for the NCD. O. Communication from the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, requesting the Honorable House to cooperate with it on the pending investigation of alleged bribery scheme reported to it by Honorable Luther Stanley Collins on October 17, 2024. B. Appearance of the following entities as One, the Minister of Health and Executive Director of failed to provide update on the MBOX. Two, Minister of Justice, Internal Affairs, Agriculture, Inspector General of the Liberia National Police, and the Commissioner General of the Liberia Immigration Service, Managing Director, FDA, and the Executive Director of LRRC to address the presence of illegal immigrants that is Burkina Faso in the southeast. Let me adjourn. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished honorable ladies and gentlemen, that is the reading of the draft agenda for today's business day, the third day sitting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Clerk. Honorable colleague, with the reading of the agenda, what is the will and pleasure? Honorable Yaflowo.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I move the contain a second from my colleagues
Chief Clerk.
that the various items on this agenda be considered and addressed with the following at the Speaker's office this evening by 5 p.m. Since it is it has sensitive security implications. All communications from our police, ask for excuses, be noted, and then we'll address.
And then second, are you all ready for Noah? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We can be able to agree with me that the issues that have to do with Burkina Faso in our various counties, more especially the southeast counties, is a national security concern. Every representative from their county should be part of that. Sending it to leadership that will prohibit some government also be part of it. I will suggest that when we reach that item, it should be executive, so that all lawmakers who have stake in that, more especially in Southeast County, can be part of it. I so recommend. That's not in there.
So, lawmakers are having cross conversations about adopting the agenda for today.
I think that the leadership meeting is open to everybody. And so, with the security implications, everybody who got interest. Yeah, okay. But leadership, the leadership has representation from all countries. Well, the leadership meeting doesn't say if you have no say you can attend. So I so return.
Excuse me, please, there's no issue related to this Burkina Faso. The fact that I have a serious security nature, we cannot open it for discussion in open plenary. I agree with the board executive, but the fact also we have been the president will announce everybody should be on the president office by 2:30 latest. Moreover, this issue will be resolved and discussed with all those that have interest in it. If you stay around at 5 o'clock in the office or in my conference room, we can stay discussing the CSA. Those that have interest in it can come. It's open to all lawmakers. Maybe the ticket is you. But open to all. There's a serious issue. Can I open up? You have to talk for that. Please. Can we proceed?
Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My readiness has to do with this matter. This matter has a security implication. I think we need to discuss this in the public instead of having it in a committee or in a secret discussion. The Liberian people need to know our brethren have been accused of supporting Burkina Bees. Thank you.
Having thrown light on the issue by the speaker himself, I will still maintain that based on what the speaker said, we'll defer the appearance at 5 o'clock so that the rest of us are interested in attending.
Okay, so let me just make an input. Our colleagues from Grand Bassa County want to make an input so we allow you to give us some readiness. From Goswa.
Distinguished colleagues, to the movement, I'll be ready to vote. I'll be ready to vote with the movement, considering the security nature of the issue of Burkina Faso and Liberia. Also, considering that all of us in this region are all national leaders, and we don't have to make our input concerning the security of our Liberia constituents. Also because of the issue being discussed, positions to be raised, recommendations to be made, I will move that this discussion be held in executive in this chamber so that all of us can make our input void of the press, and whatever recommendation can come on leadership can then transmit it to the public as a decision that if I can be said
my distinguished colleague from Grand Bassa County, the neighboring county, Tondima County, and Sano being so distant away from me, I will be most sympathetic to you, and that's what I said.
So in addition to the acceptance of the movement, when we leaving from this place to go to the president will be on recess. When we come, we'll still be on recess. There will be motion for extension. We'll come and continue. When we close, we can have there will be motion for extension will be on recess. So that just
Yes. Are you ready to vote for you to consider this simple amendment? An excommunication written by Downtown Africa as it relates to the Starlink operation in Liberia in keeping with the FTA Act were it to be added. Were it to be added on the agenda because it has revenue implications. Based upon that, we approval the trending issue regarding our path. I'll be ready to go away to
My distinguished colleague from Monkeypox County, the fact that the Starlink issue has public interest, and one of our colleagues has written for that to be addressed, I so accept.
Item O, let's talk about the investigation of the House. Wanting the House to cooperate with the LACC. I think in the midst of the impasse, we have gone through that. We are talking about reconciliation and reunification. So with that, I think we got to put that to rest and continue I'm not speaking to police, I'm speaking to the movement. It's a movement. Not movement. No, that's not it. That's not it. I don't like a t-shirt. That's not it. That's not a pronunciation. I'm telling you that. The repertoire is the movement, not the movement.
Well, we are doing it for English language more. To my distinguished colleague of Montserrat County District 3, who happens to be a landlord, I think with the separation, the doctrine of separation of powers, if LACC is doing an investigation and they want us to cooperate, we need to we can interfere with the investigation, except the investigation will cross certain lines that we as lawmen feel that they have crossed into our own territory. So we need to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I saw we change.
I move the distinguished colleague to the movement, and that movement. All right. To the movement.
You will consider the foreign change.
See, I can see on the agenda go to at the A and at the I at the B in such order that the agenda will be handled.
Well, surpluses don't initiate. Once the items will be addressed and the subsequent ones will come as so accept.
Speaker, Deputy Speaker, to the movement.
So the move on.
I said movement.
No, movement.
Yeah, the two words.
The one on the left of that is a move on. I mean, the movement. The Lord, please.
So the movement, I will be ready to vote. If we can look at number 9C, which is a communication from the Right Honorable Gizi Collins in regard to Chairman of National Security, in regard to the member replacing. And you want to play for him? I will be ready to vote if the speaker and the deputy speaker can extract this communication from being discussed and deal with it as leadership in the name of reconciliation. And right now we're trying to read people. Not I'm reading this presiding and co-presiding entities of this matter. So try to deal with it internally at leadership level as part of the process to reconcile it. Try to bring new rule. I don't think we help our reconciliation process. Thank you.
Thank you, my distinguished colleague from Liberia County District 7. I appreciate the fact that you said you didn't say that they should be removed from the agenda. I think your suggestion is more preemptive because that decision you are suggesting should be handled by plenary. And so once it is put on the floor, you can make your point and move forward. So I still reject.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, to the movement, I will be ready to vote. Firstly, while in charge of the microphone, let me officially extend a warmest happy birthday to one of the elders of the 55th Legislature of Liberia, the Right Honorable Nathaniel and Bowie. I celebrate his birthday today. And I'll be ready to vote, Mr. Speaker, if the record can carry that very essential meeting that we have with the President today, that exactly 2 o'clock we don't entertain motion for extension. As exactly 2 o'clock, every other item on the agenda that is not exhausted should be deferred to our next sitting. If I
So my distinguished colleague from Masarauda County, your proposal is in the right direction, and so I accept it.
All of the amendments now, I think I'm ready to vote. All those in favor say yes. Those against your will. Those abstain, they give me my book and record off. The vote is carried. Call for petition.
Yes, sir.
discharge petition. Whereas, quote unquote, an act to create the Monkeypox sanitary district within Shannon County, Republic of Liberia, which was submitted to the Honorable House of Representatives by the Honorable
Small army today. Of particular English class, the team is for the move. Thank you.
Which was submitted to the Honorable House of Representatives by Honorable Thomas Romeo Kuya, Representative District Number 1 of Sano County, and had the first readings on January 21, 2025, and subsequently referred to the Joint Committee on Internal Affairs, Judiciary, Ways, Means, Finance, and Development Planning for scrutiny to report its findings and recommendations to the plenary of the Honorable House for appropriate action. Whereas, said proposed bill has been in committee room for almost 4 months. Whereas, in the exercise of Rule 39.1 of the House's rules and procedures, Honorable Thomas Romeo, representative of District Number 1, Sano County, issued a notification to discharge from the committee room, quote unquote, and had to create the Monkeypox sanitary district within Sano County, Republic of Liberia. Whereas, having certified Rule 39.1 of the House's rules and procedures, the chief clerk of the Honorable House of Representatives has prepared a discharge petition for members to sign so as to discharge from committee room and add to create the Monkeypox sanitary district within Sano County, Republic of Liberia. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Honorable House of Representatives, have affixed our signature to this discharge petition done the 19th day of May 2025 with 35 signatories of members who signed this petition. Honorable Thomas P. Fala David Speaker signed. Honorable Smoke A. Mohammed signed. Honorable Margaret M. Thomas signed. Honorable Priscilla Abraham Cooper signed. Honorable Emmanuel Dan signed. Honorable Mukab Dekura Kamara signed. Honorable Dixon Brownlee Sibo signed. Honorable Bernard Blue Benson signed. Honorable Clarence T. Banks signed. Honorable Matthew Joe signed. Honorable Outbreak Tromo signed. Honorable Thomas A. Goswa II signed. Honorable Thomas Romeo Kuya signed. Honorable Alex X. Noah signed. Honorable P. Mark Jure signed. Honorable Mohammed Joseph signed. Honorable Prince A. Kwena signed. Honorable Rabban Flomo Wongwe signed. Honorable Eugene J. M. Collins signed. Honorable Julie Fatoma Wea signed. Honorable Momo Safa Koto signed. Honorable Gisi K. Collins signed. Honorable Augustine B. Chewolo signed. Honorable Nyaji Flomo signed. Honorable N.S.M. Marcier signed. Honorable Dorothy Lydia signed. Honorable Jeremiah Dao Sokansia signed. Honorable Jacob Debbie II signed. Honorable Jakata Obidaya Bani signed. Honorable Sempi Jala signed. Honorable Roland Obi Kuba signed. Honorable Alexander Paul signed. Honorable Asa B. Chocolate Moore signed. Honorable Johnson S. N. Williams signed. And Honorable Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished honorable ladies and gentlemen, those are the signatories to the staff petition on the three different bills discharged from committee room. Thank you, sir.
Our colleagues, with the reading of the discharge petition, what is your will and pleasure? So I think since the committee room, we will constitute our committee agenda issue as soon as possible. Therefore, I am naming the committee as follows: from Omago Thomas, Chair; from Alex Noah, Co-Chair; from Reminder Member; from Yaya Kofa Member; from Osoka Member. From the Chief Clerk, our economy. Next.
If it ends, no, I have my hair.
If you come on Saturday, you can go and
Omago Thomas, Chair; from Alex Noah, Co-Chair; Reminder Member; from Yaya Kofa Member; Osoka Member. Call for Senate Committee report.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Richard Nkun, Speaker, House of Representatives, 55th Legislature, Capital Building, Capital Hill. Dear Honorable Speaker, consistent with Chapter 10, Article 89 of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia, which authorized the legislature to enact legislations, creating agencies and commissions of government as may be necessary for the effective operation of the government. Whereas this act is the desire of the government of Liberia to establish an institution that will ensure food security, poverty reduction, good health, sustainable agriculture, and healthy population for the citizens. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and distinguished police, in view of the social and considering Article 6 of the Constitution of Liberia, we wish to officially present the report on the proposed enactment of the National Food Assistance Agency Act that is currently before this Honorable House for careful review and deliberations. Honorable Speaker, the committee herewith craves the indulgence of this House body to concur with the Honorable Liberian Senate for the enactment of this very essential bill seeking the establishment of the National Food Assistance Agency to ensure food security, poverty reduction, good health, sustainable agriculture, and healthy population. Best regards, sincerely yours, Margaret Thomas Anthony Allo, Representative Electoral District of 4 Montserrat County, Every Coast. Join committee report on enactment of the National Food Assistance Agency and Act of 2025. Submitted by the Joint Committee on Agriculture, Forestry, Fishery, and Judiciary. Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues of the Honorable House of Representatives. The Joint Committee on Agriculture and Judiciary is pleased to present its report on the proposed enactment of the National Food Assistance Agency Act that is currently before this Honorable House for careful review and deliberations. This act was forwarded to our joint committee for scrutiny, analysis, and recommendation. Background. The National Food Assistance Agency Act, which recognizes the need to create a food bank and agencies that will work with the international partners and other donors in the management of food donated to the people of Liberia, and opting for the establishment and institution that will ensure food security, poverty reduction, good health, sustainable agriculture, and healthy population for the state spirit. It defines the functions, structure, powers, and responsibilities of the National Food Assistance in accordance with its mandate to serve as the logistical arm of the government of Liberia. Upon receipt of the act, the Joint Committee held several meetings, consultation with stakeholders, legal experts, and relevant institutions, including the Ministry of Agriculture, local actors, and civil society organizations, to ensure the act aligns with constitutional provisions and national development goals. Summary. The act provides for 1. The purpose of the act to make school feeding programs sustainable across the country. 2. To purchase from farmers excess produce to be processed and stored for distribution. 3. To introduce food stamp and free meal for physically challenged persons, single and vulnerable parents, including young children, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. 4. To establish storage and processing facilities for local crops and distribution. 5. To ensure that the National Food Assistance Agency receive, store, and conduct an effective distribution and supply of good quality food commodities to reach the Liberian people. 6. To provide a sustainable and reliable food security and nutrition systems through the establishment of regional food hubs to show compliance with the established standard for food quality, monitor and distribute food commodities to the vulnerable, underprivileged individuals and disadvantaged institutions, store and facilitate market leakages of local farmers for surplus commodities. 8. Appoint tenure of officials and their respective powers and duties. 8. Revenue generation and fiscal management. Now, accountability and transparency mechanism. And 10. Enforcement of the agency's statute. Observation. The passage of this act into law will nullify Executive Order number 101 and all such previous orders issued in 1970 and 1977 respectively. With the enactment of this act, all regulatory functions of the National Food Assistance Agency of Liberia shall be exclusively surrendered to the agency. It will complement government's effort to provide quality, quantity, and efficient supply of food, healthy diet, and food security for our country's population. The absence of a comprehensive legal framework has come up to utilize the food producing resources of the Republic of Liberia and has discouraged investment in this sector, hindering service delivery. Speedy passage of the act will empower our local economy, enhance food security, create job opportunities, and reduce shortages on the market. Recommendation. In view of the above, the Joint Committee hereby recommends the following. 1. That plenary adopt this report. 2. That the National Food Assistance Agency, NAFA, Act be speedily passed into law. 3. that subsequent regulations and policies for implementation be developed with the inclusion of community voices. Conclusion. Honorable members, the government's intentions to sustainably utilize food resources and recognize that the MFA can execute its mandate as its enshrined in this act to serve as the logistical arm of the government of Liberia. It is imperative that the agency be granted an autonomous status able to meet with the demands and trends of global food security. The National Food Assistance Agency NFAD Act is long overdue and reflects the demand and aspiration of the Liberian people for self-sufficient food sustainability and improved management of food accessibility. We therefore pray the endorsement of this plenary to speedily pass this act, thereby laying a strong legal foundation for the logistics of food donation to the government of Liberia. Respectfully submitted, signed, Committee on Judiciary, Honorable Martha M. Chama, Honorable Clarence J. Banks, Honorable Steve Chico, Honorable Jan G. Flomo, Honorable James Fuller, and Honorable Priscilla A. Cooper. For the Committee on Agriculture, Honorable Alfred A. Flomo, Honorable Augustine B. Chewolo, Honorable Emmanuel John, and Honorable Anthony F. Williams, Ruby Yatu Barry, all signed. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that is the reading of the report from the Committee on Judiciary and Agriculture recommending the passage of the National Food Assistance Agency Act into law. Thank you, sir.
Honorable, with the reading of the report from the Standing Committee, what is a willing pleasure? Honorable Anthony Williams.
Honorable Deputy Speaker,
give me the last time.
I've been listening to the report. Being read. No, you get away.
Yeah, already. We got to move it and move off. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I've been listening to
information. What is information?
Information is Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, colleagues. Whilst the signatures were being read by the deputy chief clerk on those who signed the report, I heard the name of Anthony Williams. And if that's true, he cannot be making motion on this particular matter. He said Johnson Williams. I said
from the chief clerk. From the chief clerk. The student and state make a motion.
Is that a rule? No. I want to see the rule.
Honorable Anthony F. Williams, member on the Committee on Agriculture, signed.
Okay, is there any
signature means he supports the bill. That is a conflict of interest issue.
Thank you all. Having listened to the reading of the report from the Committees on Judiciary and Agriculture referencing the National Food Assistance Agency MBOX Act of 2025, which is the second reading on this floor, and requested from the Senate for concurrence, I move, Honorable Speaker, fellow colleagues, that this act be accepted in totality and concur with as so moved.
Is it concurrent or passive?
Yes, concurrent. Yes, passive.
No, it is for the Senate. Concurrent. It is for the Senate, according to the reading.
I don't know from Jerry and send it to committee.
Colleagues, with the motion offered by the honorable from Reverend Catholic in seconded.
Yes, but we can do that.
Are you all ready to vote?
Ready.
All those in favor, make a number, put your right hand up.
And so, members of the House of Representatives are voting for the passage of the National Food Assistance Acts of 2025. They've concurred to the Liberian Senate for concurrence. So this is the Liberia National Television. We're here in the chamber of the House of Representatives, where normal legislative activities are even carried on.
Mr. 7-4, debate has passed. We ask the chief secretary to pick and accordingly.
The bill has passed, is eliminated from
Communication from Honorable Thomas. Honorable Richard M. Speaker of the 55th Liberia. Submission of the bill establishing the township of Soap Clinic. The Honorable Speaker, with compliments and herein appraise you for the level of professionalism you have brought to this august body. Our Speaker, our Deputy Speaker, and distinguished colleagues, the local government act of 2018 in Liberia is the legislation that governs the establishment of
Please.
I get it here.
The local government act of 2018 Liberia is the legislation that governs the establishment and function of the government, including the creation of townships. The act outlines the framework for decentralizing power from the central government to local levels. It will interest you to know that Sokoline is heavily populated and has all facilities to become a township. Quote unquote, commencing on the north by Omika community, northeast by Coca-Cola factory community, south by People Road community, southeast by Zeze community, and the west by the Dew River. Sokoline has more than 45,000 residents and 5 to 50 kilometers square various days on density. Sokoline has more than 5 churches and about The Sovereign area is 90% Christian community. It also has more than 40 public and private schools, with 1 university, more than 5 vocational training schools, over 10 clinics, 1 police depot, and 5 markets. The area can also boast of electricity and water supply. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, and distinguished police, the establishment of the township of Sovereign will boost economic activities and create employment opportunities for the residents. In lieu of the aforementioned, I pray the indulgence of this August Valley to consider the establishment of the township of Sovereign. Signed, Honorable Anthony Martha M. Thomas Esquire, Representative Electoral District number 4, Montserrat County, and Chairman, Committee on Expenditure, and the Field Legislative Office. The Act, and as to incorporate the township of Sovereign, District number 4, Montserrat County, Republic of Liberia. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished honorable ladies and gentlemen, that is the reading of the communication transmitting to you a bill to establish the township of Sovereign and the first reading of the Act. Thank you, sir.
Publicly, we will first read of the Act. What is your will and pleasure? Honorable Anthony Williams.
Anthony Williams, I think I was with you.
You don't understand. Yeah, this is how we here. I already moving. I'm moving and I'm moving. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished police, having listened to the reading of the bill from our lender colleagues that was submitted to the Chief Clerk Office, the surveyor, I move when I can obtain a second that bill be forwarded to the below listed committee on internal affairs, committee on judiciary, committee on good governance, if I can obtain the second from Illinois.
The motion forward by the Reverend from Maryland County, and the second, are you all ready for it?
Ready.
All those in favor say yea. Those against say nay.
Everybody.
Abstain, beginning by putting your right hand on. The bill is carried. Honorable Chief Clerk, I inform you.
Communication from Honorable Elizabeth Ball. Honorable Richard M. Poon, Speaker, Honorable House of Representatives, Capitol Hill, Liberia. Dear Honorable Speaker and distinguished police in section, I have the distinguished honor to present compliments and commend this body for minister fasting doing the Liberia people's work, despite the many challenges of Capitol Hill as the result of the recent stalemate. Posterity will judge it for these good deeds, and it is my hope that we remain unbending in doing so. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, the 1986 Constitution of our country bestowed upon us 3 sacred responsibilities: representation, lawmaking, and oversight. These functions are so delicate and must be used by us, the people's deputies, for their benefit. In keeping with one of these responsibilities, I'm pleased to present to this body the bill, quote-unquote, an act to establish the River G Community College to grant it a chapter for passage consideration. When passing the law, the college will not only bridge the gap of urban migration, but also boost the human resource capacity of the country and create an opportunity for young people in that political subdivision to acquire tertiary education. It will also create jobs for professionals in that locality. Mr. Speaker, since its creation as a county, River G County's population has astronomically increased. The number of schools and the number of high school graduates has also increased, thus creating a need for a college. These graduates face difficulties leaving River G County to other surrounding counties in search of higher education. They are only border with sustainability but are at a greater risk much far from home, which may cause them to drop out of school. And he not tell us the danger a half-educated man can create in any society. The timely passage of this bill will bring solutions to these depravities as implemented herein. It is my fervent hope and ardent prayer that we consider the timely passage. Sincerely yours, Honorable Alexander Paul, District Representative, District Number 1 River G County, Co-Chair on Women's Order and Administration. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished honorable ladies and gentlemen, that is the reading of the communication and the final reading of a bill and how to establish the River G Community College granted a chapter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Clerk. Honorable colleagues, with the bill offered our honorable gentleman from Raji, an act to establish the Raji Community College and create a chapter. What is the will and pleasure? Honorable Ernest Benji.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, fellow after carefully listening to the reading of the bill from distinguished colleague from River G County, Honorable Alexander Paul, and considering the importance of this instrument, I move that I obtain a second that the reading constitutes the first reading of the bill and thereafter be forwarded to the Committee on Judiciary and Education. And then you can have with me as popular demand.
With the motion forward, and then seconded, are you all now ready to vote? I have sharp yes. Those against the bill? Against the bill? I'm still making them put your right hand off. The vote is carried. Over Chief Clerk accordingly.
Yes, sir.
Next, Business Speaker Dex. They're about to entertain our visitors.
So, welcome. This is the Liberia National Television. We're here in the chamber of the House of Representatives. A lot is happening here today. Today, the House of Representatives concur with the Senate for the act establishing the National Food System, Act of 2025. Welcome to say here in the chamber of the House of Representatives. We are expecting the appearances of some officials. So stay with us. This is the Liberia National Television. We're here live in the chamber of the House of Representatives. So different activities are here taking place, and so we're still waiting the appearances of some officials. members of government here. My name is Emmanuel Wakoli. It feels great to be here in the chamber of the House. Today is Tuesday, May 20, 2025. So the regular session of the House of Representatives. Stay here. We're still waiting for the presence of the guests. As soon as they arrive, I'm told they will be placed on hold, and then there will be public appearance on their appearance here today. So keep watching and don't go away. The very best. Thanks to all of you who are following this live broadcast here in the chamber of the House of Representatives. So, welcome to all of you. Let's hope you all are there having some great time together. Still preparing for the guest appearance.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you,
So thank you for watching. Thanks for being there. Stay here waiting the appearances of the guests. As soon as they come, then we go into the section for today.
Yes, sir.
We're talking much more about the recent outbreak of monkeypox, government's preparation in terms of resources and all that. So, what is happening? So, we stay here. Thanks to all of you following from different locations. Just tell us where you're watching us from. And somebody tells me watching from just tell us where you're watching us from this afternoon here on the Liberia National Television. This morning you had more than 40 lawmakers present here. I'm sure they've come to deliberate on issues of national concern Very shortly, as soon as the guests come in, then the deliberations will get started. Some of the appearances okay, Dr. Dubayan, the head of the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, just entered.
All the staff is
So the guest just came.
You want to get it?
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished members of this Honorable House of Representatives, I bring you greetings.
Order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, order. Mr. Speaker, when you address the Speaker, every Speaker, you address the House of
We are distinguished member of the legislature. So he's not wrong. He's right.
Information noted.
Thank you, Speaker. we acknowledge receipt of your communication dated May. My name is Anthony Malaya Tamachio. I am the Deputy Minister for Policy, Planning and MLE at the Ministry of Health. Currently, I'm the Acting Minister of Health. And I've come together with Dr. Nima. Dr. Nima is the acting CMO. I also come along with, okay, she's out there, Favor Kia, she's somewhere in or around here. So I've come with them. She's a resource person to us. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable members of this legislature, I submit.
Observation, Mr. Speaker.
Next witnesses, please introduce yourself.
Observation, Mr. Speaker.
Observation denied.
Observation, Mr. Speaker. Official communication that stated clearly that the minister.
Honorable Council Representative, my name is Christopher Young, Director General of the National Public Health Institute of Liberia. I'm responding to your communications yesterday, requesting that we come to this August budget to discuss issues surrounding the current outbreak that was declared by the WHO and the CDC. Here with me is the Deputy Director General for Technical Services, Dr. Julius Gillian. And also here is the Deputy Director General acting for Administration, Mr. Ish Mohammed Kari. We have two other members, the geoscientists who are here with us, on the way I do summit. Thank you.
Thank you. How much can you please report as to what invited our witnesses, the basic communications that invited witnesses? We'll get there.
In our leadership meeting on Monday, the issue of MBOX was brought forth by Maryland County Representative Honorable P. Maichiri. After discussion,
who's there? The journalist? Can I come close on the side? Don't allow your own replacement. One way. Can I come on the side? Okay, thank you. Please continue.
Yes, as I said, in our leadership meeting on Monday, the issue of MBOX was brought forth on the floor by Honorable P. Maichiri, Representative Electoral District 1 in Maryland County. That was discussed, and at the end of the meeting, I was mandated to invite our guests that are currently before us today to find a way forward in addressing the issue. These are the communications that went out. May 19, 2025, Honorable Director General
National Public Health Institute of Liberia, Enfield, Town, Liberia. Dear Honorable Director General, I present compliments and write by directive of the leadership of the Honorable House of Representatives to invite you to appear before this plenary session on Tuesday, May 20, 2025 at 10 a.m. Eastern. Honorable Director General, the plenary of the House wants a detailed information about the current outbreak of MBOX and therefore expect you to prepare to make a presentation on the status of your preparedness to contain the disease as well. Thank you for your attention in this urgent matter. Sincerely, Mildred Sam. That was the same content shared the Ministry of Health. So that's why our guests are here today. Most
Are these witnesses, are the perfect witnesses for this particular case as we invite? Our colleagues are complaining that the minister will see a package minister here and we see let me just get information from the church. Information is high.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, honorable ladies and gentlemen, the invite was served. I do not see the health minister.
Mr. Speaker, information.
Information, Mr. Speaker. The right gentleman from Mukucha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue of small monkeypox is very critical. We have seen time after time that the ministers are invited. If they are not available, then the full representation of the minister is present. As a matter of fact, the deputy minister in his introduction has said he is the acting minister, which connotes that the minister may be out of country. For the urgency of this matter, Mr. Speaker, I ask us colleagues to listen to the acting minister and proceed according to make sure that we understand the issues.
Thank you, Honorable.
So proceed. Indicate whether there more information from the care practitioner as it relates to the monkeypox. So we all our witnesses to take the stairs immediately.
No.
Please allow the witnesses to present the issue. We start with Enfield. They're not taking vote, no.
Mr. Speaker,
If there were any information, it would be acknowledged what happened. We want to require from them whether they are prepared for the outbreak of the monkeypox. So invite your witnesses here to inform us. If that issue
people know where the minister is. So my question to the acting minister is the minister in country. If If the minister is not in country,
Mr. Presiding, the people of district number 2 need to know whether the minister is in country or not. If I did not hear the acting minister, it means I still
Acting minister.
yes, which I'm not denying, but I want to know whether the minister is in country or not. The people of district number 2 have to know.
Information denied. Information denied. Information denied.
Sano County will respond to that.
Thank you, gentlemen, for
Sano County can respond to that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Wetton can continue.
Good afternoon. Reiterating our thanks and appreciation for this invitation in order to address this august body on matters pertaining to the public health of this country. Not only this country, but the sub-region, the region, our three countries. And from that point, we began to prepare for the future. From the diaspora end and from the government in power at the time, under Madam Penny Johnson-Sirleaf, I did testify before the U.S. Congress and proposed the establishment of a public health institute for the countries involved and regionally in Africa, and the establishment of a National or Continental Center of Disease Control, which is the Africa Centers for Disease Control. The U.S. government responded kindly along with other governments, and we had the public health institutes established. At the time, we did not have capacity, and that era kicked off the process through which we will build capacity in terms of public health response.
Liberia was in a good position because since 1974 we had the Liberia Biomedical Research Institute, which is located in Charlesville, Marquis County. And so we have at least fundamental experience in science and research. When the NFIL was created in 2016, 17, we were organized and created as an autonomous agency of government in order to respond to public health threats in the country, collaborate with others within the region and on the continent.
Observation, Mr. Speaker.
Observation. For Michael Thomas.
Mr. Speaker, Evidence Speaker, and colleagues. The letter written to the MPhil and the Ministry of Health was very specific as to discussing the current outbreak of Monkeypox in Liberia. So I'm coming here on a point of observation to inform the Director General that he will take to the issue as though we understand the admin and everything here, so we can just discuss the issue.
The witness to the issue.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Information, Mr. Speaker.
Information.
Mr. Speaker, in this critical matter, and because of the importance of this matter, the Director General is giving us basis from which he's going to launch into the real matter. And we can't allow the Director General to do this business. Because of what
the National Public Health Institute has been responding to MBOX outbreak, concurrently responding to Lassa fever outbreak, concurrently responding to measles outbreak, and then in 2022 also responding to COVID. These are all interconnected because they are outbreaks, and we want to give you a clearer picture so that we all have an appreciation of where we are coming from and where we are. I humbly beg your indulgence, Honorable House of Representatives. Towards this end, we were responding to this infection gradually and not just recently. But in 2022, when the infection skipped out of Africa and was seen in other countries, the WHO declared it as an emergency situation of international concern. And when just last year, it went out of spiral, the WHO again re-declared that as an international emergency of concern, and the Africa CDC declared the outbreak as an emergency situation of continental security. You will surely understand. We will definitely break it down.
So right now you are following the appearance of the and so welcome to this live broadcast. We're here in the chamber of the House of Representatives, where the National Public Health Institute of Liberia and the Ministry of Health have come to give updates on the status of the country, a fight against the monkeypox virus in the country. So welcome, and so we're here.
In my head. Let me show you a camera to audience.
Honorable Speakers and Honorable House of Representatives, I have corrected the slides to now continue with the presentation that will be very clear, hopefully, and educated, because all of us are public health practitioners. This particular virus is a virus that comes from animals and goes into humans. That is why we call it zoonotic virus. It is seen mainly in the West African forest and the Central African forest. It was first identified in 1958 in monkeys. They were got the name Monkeypox virus. The Africa CDC, as I said, declared it as an outbreak recently, just as the World Health Organization also declared monkeypox virus infection as an outbreak. Next slide, please.